Hello, hello, and welcome. Welcome to this is the first one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, the very first episode for 2022.
Yep.
Wow. Welcome to another episode of CoachesCorner.health. We are so excited because Coach Andy and I have decided that we are going to do something a little bit different this year. And well, at least the beginning of the year to see what that looks like. So, my name is Leslie, and I am a coach, a mindset and emotional awareness coach. Really, what I do is I help mission driven women who are looking for more for life to make a bigger impact on their world, but they're having some issues around that, around mindset, around taking that inspired action. So that's who I work with. How about you, Andy?
I'm Andy. I'm Coach Andy, the unconditional coach, as you can see. Um, I help people with who are searching for something more, who are seeking whatever it is that they're missing in their life. I've come to this realization that a lot of people are seeking something or looking for something and they just don't know what it is. They know there's something missing or they feel like there's something missing in their life. And that often comes down to control issues. That often comes down to addiction or depression because those things come from not knowing. Those are consequences or symptoms of not knowing what it is they're looking for. So I help people find that so that they can actually live the life they're trying to live. They're really looking to live different from people who are fulfilling dreams and trying to live on a private island someplace. That's not so much. More like I'm trying to help people find or get the life they're trying to live. They're actually attempting to live rather than some dream that they may have someday. But
Mm,
yeah, that's what I do.
very cool. Yeah, so as I was saying earlier, this is our very first episode, and we wanted to talk to you a little bit about where we see this channel going. Now, we typically will talk for about an hour about a subject, and it's usually been around a particular, um, I guess, an area, an idea, whether it's personal expectations, whether it's social or cultural. And so this year, we decided to do something a little bit different, more designed around what both of us do, because we know that there's a need, a need for there to be a place where you can actually go and get some of your questions answered. And
Yes.
so we thought, well, why don't we do that here? And I'd be able to just start having this place where we'll have a conversation around a specific topic that will, and then having some real, maybe some strategies or some tips or something almost like getting coaching, but you're not having that one-on-one coaching experience with us. But we're gonna try to help you as best we can. So I'm sorry, I'm trying to get myself situated here, so in my virtual little office place here. But yeah, so Andy, what are your thoughts on what's coming up? How are we moving
Yeah,
forward?
that's exactly that's exactly the discussion we were having over the holidays, trying to figure out, what do we want to do with this channel? What's the coming year? What's it all about? And we kind of started having this discussion around, well, we both of us, each of us, create content for our own individual audiences, for our own people, and some of those conversations just they feel better done together. They feel better when we talk about these things that we bring up, when we talk about them with each other, when we have them in conversation with each other. I especially find that a lot of the content that I create, I find it's far easier to create it in conversation with somebody, and who better to have that conversation with than somebody that I already have this relationship with. So I'm really looking forward to what we're coming for this new year. I'm really liking this you know kind of small pivot that we're making, because it's not really different. We're still going to be talking about things that are relevant, and we're still going to be talking about answering questions that we come from our community, and a lot of those conversations that we had last year did come from our community,
Mm-hmm.
from yours or from mine. We're still going to be doing stuff like that. What I think, what I like about what we're doing now is we're going to be a little more focused on the actual content that you and I might create for our individual audiences, and therefore answering some of the questions they have, or doing like a, almost like you said, like a pseudo coaching session where where we're actually walking someone through, or walking not necessarily someone, although if somebody wants to get some coaching, I'm sure we could do that too. Um, we're basically walking through a scenario that we have experienced or witnessed or helped somebody through, and really just getting some answer to these questions that people have. We're also going to be experimenting a little bit with changing how we actually create these videos, as far as like the thumbnails and the titles and stuff like that, to be a little more relevant to what you guys are asking, to what you guys are actually looking for, to what you're saying in our conversations. So hopefully this helps you out, and we give a little more focused on what you're wanting, and we can help answer some questions. That's what we're here for.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think too is that there's sometimes the conversations that you and I have had, which have been, I think a lot of them have been brilliant in my opinion.
Yeah, me too. Me too. We might be biased.
Yeah, but I truly believe though that the conversations that we've had have been relevant to a lot of areas that people want that discussion, of that deeper level discussion. And I think that's what we're trying to do here now as we pivot into 2022 with a little bit of the change in what we're going to talk about, is we actually are going to talk a little bit more deeper level, because
Yes.
we can't really go too deep level when we're talking general, talking general on a topic. But I think once we're going to start really digging into specific topics, like different areas about, the things that I help with, I help my clients with, and the things that Andy helps his clients with. Mm-hmm. And a lot of mine are going to be all around like what I do, because I work with women specifically who are mission driven, but who also have this, it's all around mindset and emotional awareness. And really that a lot of that is what I'm going to be covering with Andy as we progress through this year. But I'm also going to be adding that one little extra secret sauce, which is self-love. And so for me, that's important, because I think both of us, we do incorporate that mindset, that framework of like self-care into our own, whether our coaching with our clients or for ourselves. And so I'm looking forward to like how that looks when we start digging into some of these conversations. We haven't really decided which we're going to start with. At least I don't know if we have decided. I kind of, the fun thing, what I like to do, and I don't know if Andy's really picked up on it, is I kind of like to let him make some decisions on like what we're going to talk about next. Because I don't have a problem showing up to the conversation and we just dig into it. I think it's a lot of fun, especially too, because neither one of us prepares for it, other than we know the topic, the subject matter, and we're going to just dig into it a little bit more. And whatever comes up. Just like for tonight, we knew we were going to talk about the year, what to expect, some of the things that we're deciding to do, but we didn't really like sit down and have too much of a game plan session. We did talk, obviously, because we knew we were pivoting, but we didn't set like a script for tonight. So it's just like any other time that we've gone live, but there is going to be another change, which I'm going to let Andy tell you about, but it's going to be something exciting for the channel. So Andy.
Yeah. So first of all, I want to play off what you just said, as far as we're pivoting, we're changing. I really like that we're digging into some of these subjects a little more deeply. Like we're getting a little more focused on, like leadership, or a marriage relationship, or a specific scenario that a client may or may not have brought up, something that we may have dealt with in our coaching businesses. We're getting a little more laser focused on exactly what kinds of scenarios a person might be dealing with. I think the first few months last year of this, the first few months of this channel last year, we were going a little more general to kind of figure out what topics we were passionate about and really find what we were doing. And now that we have some of those topics really narrowed in, we really do have some idea of what it is we want to teach you people, to help you to answer what questions we want. We do have some questions coming up from our audience, from our clients, from people that we talk to, we want to dig into some of those on a much more laser focused conversation. And as you said, each of us, we don't help the same people. I help generally men, you help mostly women. And so therefore some of the topics we come up with, although they're in common, we come come at them from completely different directions. And that helps us to really give a number of different perspectives to a particular topic. And I'm really looking forward to what we're going to look like, what we're going to do with that. And onto the change that you mentioned. Yeah, we're going to give you guys more conversations. We're going to switch to weekly calls, to weekly conversations, weekly recordings. We'll be doing this live every Friday. And what time did we choose to do on Fridays? I can't remember what time we chose to do on Fridays.
So we're going to be doing them at, let me just see, I believe it's 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Yes, yeah. So 1 p.m. Eastern, that will give more of you a chance to watch or come on live. And we're going to do them weekly so that we can have more of these conversations, so that we can answer more of the questions and really help you guys more with the things that you're bringing out, and we like that. It's an exciting evolution for us. It's something we're both really looking forward to. We've had a lot of fun this past year, and we're looking forward to increasing that and really, offering something that I don't think has been offered, especially on YouTube, but much at all to the general public. Offering some answers to some of these questions. I know lots of coaches who talk about what it's like to be coached, and they talk about what kind of life you can have, but not a lot of people actually answer these questions. Mm-hmm. If you want answers to these questions, you generally have to either book a coach yourself, or you're stuck with just whatever memes you can find all over the internet, which, some of those are useful, some of them are not so much.
Yeah, I agree.
So we're excited. We're going to answer some questions. We're going to really dig into some deep subjects, and we're going to help you guys out.
Yeah, and one of the things too, you brought that up about actually getting that deeper level help, that most of the time you actually have to go and hire someone. And I know how frustrating that can be at times, because if you don't know someone, if you're not really familiar with the coaching world, and maybe you're just getting into self-development and you're learning about yourself, it can be really daunting with all of the noise, the background noise, the noise out there, people, saying that they're this kind of coach or they're that kind of coach. And so I'm not saying that the coaches in general are not good, because there are a lot of great coaches out there.
There are.
But I think it's really hard sometimes to actually weed through all of that and find someone. And especially if you have just a question that might be really simple to answer, or just get that oh, I got it, to kind of move you through into like a different place, to give you that real quick turnaround of a transformational moment for you. Sometimes you just can't get that unless you hire somebody. In fact, you might not even be able to get that unless you hire someone just to have a simple call, to have like what they call clarity calls or connection calls or whatever that is. Mm-hmm. I don't think there's a problem with people charging for their calls if that's the model that they run. But for myself, I don't charge for my initial call, and the reason why I don't is because I don't know you, you don't know me. I don't know what things that you're struggling with, what things you're trying to overcome, and I don't know if I can help you. Right. So for me to charge you to have that initial call with me, and then you walk away feeling like I didn't get anything out of this, it just to me it wouldn't feel good to me. And that's just my own personal way of coaching. For me, it's just, let me have that, whether it's a 30-minute call, depending on what the topic is, the subject matter is, because maybe you're just wanting to get more information around the program that I have. Or if it is that deeper level, like I want to know, like what some of my limiting beliefs and how I can start shifting my mindset. And then, so maybe we get on a conversation and I take you through like a 60-minute call and we get a little bit deeper. And then I will obviously always will be upfront and let you know that this call is going to, I'm going to go deep with you, but I'm also going to, if I can help you, I'm going to tell you about what I have. And so having that, to me, it's just having that transparency is really important. But as I said, I don't need to bill for a call getting to know you, because again, it's, if I get to know you and I know I can truly help you, then it's going to be more beneficial for us to figure that out together and then start working together. Whereas instead of us getting on the call, there's already this preconceived expectation on your end that you're gonna like get this major transformation because you're paying me already for the initial call. So that's just my thoughts on that.
Yeah, I agree. I agree that first call I generally do for free as well, because I want to make sure that we are a good fit. That's the coaching lingo for making us for seeing if you like me and I like you. Like, see if I can give you the results you're looking for, and if what I do is something you want. That's what we call in the coaching industry. We call that, is that a good fit?
Yeah.
And so I like to do that on the very first call, and I do like to do some actual coaching on that first call. I do like to give you an example of what it is that I can do for you, so that you can actually decide whether or not you like what I do, or whether or not I like how you show up as a client. Like, I'm a coach. I'm not just going to coach just anybody. There are some people that don't work well for me, that how they think, how they show up, what they do in the coaching calls doesn't work for me. Um, so your time is valuable. My time is valuable. Your transformation is valuable. My skill set is valuable. I want to honor both sides of that conversation and check to see if there is a relationship to build here. If there isn't, then thank you for your time, and let's go on and find somebody else. Like, let's not waste our time trying to build something that isn't here. And I'd rather find that out, both of us, for free. If you want to then hire my services, we certainly have that option, and I'll tell you about them if I think that that's an option that I want to pursue.
Yeah.
It isn't always.
Yeah.
So, and I like that, and I like that conversation. And that's kind of the point here, is we're trying to help you see what coaching can do for you, and let you decide if this is something you want. Whether it's from either of us or from some other random coach, this isn't necessarily about you and me getting clients. This is about helping people understand what the benefit of having a coach could be. And it could be anybody, really. There are millions of coaches out there. Many of them very good at what they do. So what we're trying to do here is answer some of these questions. A lot of people, as you were saying before, as they get into this personal development world, they have a lot of questions. You guys have a lot of questions, like, how do I worry about this, or how do I fix that, or how do I deal with this, or how does a coach think differently than someone who isn't a coach? How do we process stuff or approach situations or see things that's different than other people? And this is part of what we can offer. Part of what we can do in these conversations, and part of what we intend to do in these conversations, is show you how we think, show you how we would react. We are people. We have emotions. We do get angry. We do get sad. We do get lonely. We do grieve. We have all the same emotions everybody else does. We just process them differently. We react to them differently. We have a chosen way of dealing with situations that is different than many people. And we want to give you an exposure to that, help you see how we think, how we process, and that thereby helping you see if coaching is something for you, helping you see if what you're wanting can happen through this industry. And I firmly believe that almost everybody can get what they want through some version of a coach. So that's, and I like that we're digging into that. I like that we're really pulling up some of these key conversations that we have had maybe in our own content or with our own clients in our own lives, And you and I have had many of these conversations in offline,
Mhm.
like not on this on our YouTube channel. We've had many of these conversations, so we've talked about some of these things, and this is where we decided, wait a minute, we should be recording some of these. We should be publishing some of these to our YouTube channel, and that's where we decided to come up with let's actually pivot a little bit and have some of these conversations on our channel, and let's do them more often than we were before.
Yeah,
Instead of 2 a month, we're now going to be doing every single week.
yeah.
So I'm excited.
Yeah, me too. And I think too that just to add on to what you had said about, picking each other, it's like we're having an interview almost, but it's not like where like, you're not asking me questions, I'm not asking you questions to see
Right.
if we're the right fit. But it's really like getting that conversation going. So like to really show you what it would be like to work with us. But
Mhm.
also one of the things that's really important to me is that if I don't feel that you're a right fit, it's not about just saying, well, I don't think you're a right fit because I don't like you or I don't feel like
Right.
we would be good to work together. It could be that you're just not ready. And I
Yeah.
won't just, I know that the both of us, we won't just take your money to work with you because we want to take your money and that's it.
Yeah.
It's really more, there's really that, it's a heart centered business that we both run because we truly care about the people that we work with. So
Yeah.
if you're a right fit, as far as like when I work with anyone, unless you're a right fit, and I have turned people away.
Yes.
And if you're not ready, I'm not going to say you're ready because I know just being on the opposite end of coaching, because I've been coached many times. I've been coached in areas where I wasn't ready to be at that coaching level or for that particular thing.
Hmm.
And yet I was uncomfortable and I didn't get out of those coaching programs what they were intended for because I wasn't there yet. And so the coach did not really dial in that, oh, she's not really a good fit for this particular program that
Hmm.
I have. It doesn't mean that their program wasn't good because it had valuable material, but I
Hmm.
wasn't there yet. And I knew, and that's frustrating, especially too, when you're trying to figure out like all these different moving parts. And so that's why it's so important to me that if I feel you need something more before we work together, then I'm going to let you know that you need to maybe do this work first. Or if
Yeah.
I feel like maybe you need something different, then I've been very blessed to have been surrounded myself with some amazing coaches, and I will refer you to someone else because I truly believe that it's not about me. It is about the person who's seeking transformation, who's seeking a better life, who's seeking more. And if you're looking for something and I know for certain that there's somebody else in my life that I know who's really good at what they do can provide that for you, I'd rather you get the best, the level that you desire,
Yeah.
that you deserve. And it doesn't mean that I can't provide you with a good level of service because I'm good at what I do. But I know that if I feel that this would be a better fit for you, I have no problem saying, you know what, I think this person here would be really good for you. And I think I'll set up a meet and greet for you. Because that's
Yeah.
what I truly believe. It's not about me. It's always about the other person. Because that's how I come from a place, and I think we both do this, is that we come from a place that how would I feel, right? And how would I
Yes.
want to be treated? And we
Yes.
know that we want to be treated well, so we're going to do the same for the people that we work with. So that is why we decided to pivot into this new way and this new the frame, the timing as far as like going live every week, earlier in the day so you can watch it on your lunch break, and then also just again going live weekly rather than every 2 weeks to give you more content, to get you more questions answered, to give you an idea of what it would be like to work with a coach.
Hmm.
And it doesn't necessarily like this channel that Andy and I have is not a place where we're looking for you to sign up with us because we didn't start this channel for that particular reason. We
Hmm.
started this channel to provide you with a level of information, to get you to start thinking differently maybe about things, or to maybe give you a different perspective. But it was never about like, oh, well, okay, here's my link, go and join my program, or
Yeah.
click on this for a call. That's not what this YouTube channel is about. It is about providing you with that, that level of thinking, just to get you to actually maybe think a little bit differently, or just give yourself allowing another idea to come into your perspective and thinking, oh, okay, like you could look at it from a different viewpoint. And but again, so that's what this is about, is to show you what it could be like to work with a coach, and whether it is with Andy and myself, because there is ways to contact us. However, as I said, it's not about that, but we want to show you what it could be like for you, because it's transformative to be coached. We both know that. We've both been coached. I go through different coaching programs, and so does Andy. We make sure that we continue to continue our education, to learn as much as we can, and that's just because we want to be the best coaches that we can. So, yeah.
Yeah, and that's exactly it. This channel isn't about getting clients for us. This channel is about helping people who want a different life. And one of the key ingredients in how you can know this channel isn't about getting clients, we don't do a call to action at the end of every show, or rather we do. It's please subscribe to the channel. Like we don't say, well, come sign up with me at this website, or come email me here, or come find me there on that social media. We don't do that. We don't ask you to come and apply to this program, or give us a call. There are plenty of coaches who do, and bless them for doing so, because people want coaching, people need coaching. And we do that as well in other places. That's just not the purpose of this particular channel. And that's how you can tell. We don't do a call to action at the end. We don't ask you to come, call us or sign us, or sign up with us, or contact us. That's not the purpose of this channel. The purpose of this channel is, however, to help you see the perspective of a couple of different coaches, to see how we think, to see how we do things, to see how we approach situations, to see how we answer questions, to see how we deal with situations. And quite honestly, the ulterior motive that both of us have is to help people see how a man and a woman can get in conversation, sometimes disagree, and not argue. Right. This is where the ulterior motive of this channel is to actually show people how two people can have conversations without degrading into arguments every single time they talk, which I have had experience where that is what I experience. So having these conversations this way is great. So there's a lot to what you just said that I wanted to piggyback off of, to continue with. And another one is what we're here for. Like, we're here to help you. If we have clients, or not even clients, if we have prospective clients, if we get onto one of these free calls we were just talking about, and we talk to somebody who is interested in maybe talking to us, and we do them on free, like Leslie says, and I have said as well, we do them free so that we can test to find out if this is going to be a good relationship, if this is something you want and it's something that I want. And if we decide that maybe it's not, and if we decide that maybe you are looking for something different than what I'm offering in a coaching program, or maybe what you want is simply a simple answer to a question, and I can give you that answer in a coaching conversation, or I can lead you to the conversation that Leslie and I have already recorded, or she can lead you to a conversation that her and I have already recorded. Sometimes when you, the prospective client, isn't necessarily ready to be coaching, that's another one of those coaching lingo that we use, because oftentimes clients are stuck in how they think. They're stuck in they're thinking a specific way. They think that this is how the world works, and although it might be true in some perspective, in some respect, there are ways to think a little bit differently. And when a prospective client is not ready to think a little bit differently, they're not ready to be coached. They're not able to be coached. So one of the things that we can do is we can then lead those people to this channel to show them how we think. to show them how coaches think, to show them how coaches process stuff. And through watching some of the videos on this channel, you can become ready to coach, to be coached. You can become able to understand a different perspective. You can become a little more coachable, to use another coaching lingo. These are, we're trying to have these conversations to bridge the gap between those people who don't understand what we do and those people who want what we have. There's a gap there. And this channel is partially intended to fill that gap. It helps people answer questions, figure out situations, approach problems in a way that maybe they hadn't thought of before, in a way that maybe they hadn't really considered the possibility before. And we've discovered that those, what we call in the coaching world, we call them reframes. We've discovered that reframing things is the answer to the happiness you're seeking, to the life you're looking for, to the changes you want in your life. We've discovered that. And we'll show you in some of these conversations in this coming year, we'll show you how to do that, how we've done that, and how we do it. So I'm really looking forward to more of the conversations. I'm really looking forward to what we're going to offer you guys. I'm really kind of excited about what's coming in this coming year. There is so much about what we do that I think can be revolutionary to how the world thinks, especially this North American perspective, because we use how the world thinks, and I've made the mistake sometimes of using that when I'm talking about cultures I'm much less familiar with. So I want to limit that to this North American world because I'm much more familiar with that. However, a lot of this does apply to anywhere in the world, no matter who you're from, where you're from, and how you think. We just might have to have a few more conversations about where you are coming from culturally. And I like that. I'm really excited about how these conversations come out for us and how much they change how we think. Like just about every conversations that Leslie and I have on this channel, each of us grows in those conversations. Just about every single conversation, we come away as different people. So because we come away as different people, we know you can't help but come away as a different person. You'll have a different thought, a different perspective, something different. And that's what excites me about this channel. I'm just so, I'm so just enthusiastic, just excited. I can't contain the amount of joy that I have when we have these conversations, because we're literally changing the world here. And it's so much fun.
Yeah. So are we going to talk a little bit about what's coming up at all? Or
let's please do that.
Because I know we as I said earlier, we have said that we're going to start. And honestly, there's so much. I'm just looking at our little from our last conversation, what we've come up with, and I don't even know where to start. Like, where do we want to start? Right? How do we want to start the very first year? I mean, I know when we're starting. So let's get to that. So we're going to officially start going weekly on Friday, January 28th.
Yes.
So that will be at 1 p.m. Eastern, and which is, I believe, 11 a.m.
Mountain time. It's 10 a.m. Pacific. 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern.
Yes. So whichever time zone you're on, all you're gonna do, like the real easy thing, if you're wondering, because I've done this multiple times, I'll just write in like, what time is 2 p.m. Eastern or 2 p.m. Mountain in Eastern, and it tells you, and so then you're able to figure out, oh, okay, that's the time zone, that's how it works. Because again, there's so many different time zones. But we've decided we're going to start going live weekly, beginning on Friday, January 28th. And so I'm going to let you choose the topic, because like I said, I like to put Andy on the spot, but I do like it because, and the reason why I do is because I have this level of trust that I can trust that he's going to, I don't know, it's hard to explain, but that's why we get along so well, and we're able to have these conversations, because even though we don't always agree, like if you go back and watch some of the videos, we don't always agree 100% on what the other is saying. And again, it's our opinion. So, and that's the beauty of it, is just being able, that we've been open to that we've been accepting to like listen to someone else's viewpoint, because it's the two of us having a conversation around a specific topic. And we don't always have to agree 100% on what the other person is saying, but we also take the time to really listen, so we can understand what the other person is actually trying to convey. And we can decide then, oh, okay, maybe I get what you're saying. Maybe I can see your viewpoint, but this is why I feel this way. And we can do that. And that's what I love about it. So, what do you think as far as like our first topic to start the whole year off?
Well, first of all, before we get into that part, I want to explain a little bit about how we came up with our topics.
Okay, yes. Okay, so I'll let you do that. That's cool.
I will choose a topic. I will choose a topic.
I don't know why. I'm just like...
I am too. This is my favorite part, is this stuff. So we came up with topics for this year by, like I kind of alluded to earlier, by looking at Leslie's content and my content. So there are essentially two categories. There's stuff that Leslie talks about and stuff that I talk about. So realistically, every conversation we have is going to come from something one of us has had in a conversation that wasn't with each other, was with somebody else or in some other situation. So each one of these is going to be something that came up somewhere else for one of us. And then we're going to bring it up together and discuss it together, because we've discovered that we actually like how we both analyze things, how we both discuss things, how the conversation develops when Leslie and I, each of us, discuss this stuff. So these topics are going to come from either hers or my content, the stuff that we've either published someplace else or intended to publish somewhere else. So there's a few. There's do you lead by example? There is, are you afraid of being great? There's one of my favorites. You're a control freak. Let us tell you why. Mm-hmm. Right? There's some really deep conversations that we want to have with each other for your benefit, to help you figure out, how to navigate these situations. I'm not really sure which one I want to choose first. I'm thinking let's do the lead by example. Are you sure that you lead by example? Or this is how to lead by example? Or why don't we show you how to lead by example? Yeah. Or let's show you how to lead by example. I don't even know what the title is called yet. Like, that's me spitballing a bunch of titles.
And the fun thing is, there's going to be times when we're going to discuss, that I'm going to decide on something, or Andy's going to decide on something, and that we both talk about within our own container, and we're going to bring it to the table, and the other person's going to be like, oh, this is a new perspective that I get to like dig in with you.
Yes.
So let me understand that a little bit. Like, how did you come up with this decision around a specific area? I'm excited because I have quite a few, and I know that you do too. So it's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah. I'm excited. Yeah, there's so much for us to dig up, and I think this is the part that's exciting, is at least for me, is being able to dig up some of these conversations that I had, writing articles and recording videos and podcast episodes, and then have those conversations live with you, because then we get to have a much deeper conversation than what I might have on my own. And I really like that. That's the part that's exciting for me. So how about on the 28th, on Friday the 28th, we talk about leading by example.
I think I like that. And that's going to be an interesting topic. It might not be what you might think it's something that we're going to talk about, but again, we have no idea. I'm just letting
we don't pre-plan. We don't pre-plan the whole conversation.
Yeah, but we know what we're going to talk about, and we'll get that up. And The plan is to try to get these scheduled out at least a few weeks in advance, so or at
Yes.
least a couple 2-3 weeks, so that we can have them. We can see what's coming in the pipeline, because
Yeah.
again they are going to be weekly. So if we can at least do a month's worth, that would be great, and that way we know the topics for a month. And but Andy and I will talk about that offline. But yeah, so I'm
Yeah.
excited. Uh,
Yeah.
I think too. Yeah, like the makings of a great leader, like that's going to be really interesting
Hmm.
to get to dig into, because I think leading doesn't mean that you have. I don't even want to get into the conversation because
Let's
I want
save
to
that
wait, because
conversation.
I do have thoughts on that, and I'm already
I
excited
think
to
we
get into
I
that.
think we both do, and that's the
Yeah.
hardest part is when we pick up a topic, we want to start talking about it right away.
Yeah, we just wanted to start it. But yeah, so definitely, we definitely would love if you could, if you're digging us, that you subscribe to the channel and share with your friends and come meet us here, and just get poured into, because we truly do want the success of the people that we work with. We want the success of you, our listeners. And especially if there's something that you might be going through something. We've had some conversations where we've scheduled it out weeks in advance that we're going to talk about it, but then we get to it and we schedule it, and it just happens to be exactly what one or the other needs to talk about.
Yeah.
So it's going to be really good. I think that there's usually a lot of the time, and this I don't know if this goes for you as well, but even things people that I follow that are really people that I admire and I look up to, that are other coaches that provide really good value, that I follow just because they teach me something always.
Yeah.
Whenever I get something like that, I'm always excited. So, and that's a really good thing, just to have a place. And usually too, when they send something, it's usually something that I need, and I didn't even realize I needed it. And so, as an example, I'm on day 9 of the challenge of a 12-day, no, day 8, I finished 9 days. So there's like 3 more days. So I finished 9 days of a challenge with an amazing coach, and I've learned so much and getting so much value. And because I believe in the value of getting coached, I believe in the value of getting my questions answered, and I believe in the value that if I don't, I'm not going to focus that I don't know something. I'm going to go out and look for it. And if I can find that through the voice of someone else that I look up to and admire, and I know who has my best interest at heart, I'm going to go for it. And so that's what coaching does for me. And that
Yeah.
also goes for surrounding myself with great coaches. Like Andy is someone that I've known for quite some time now, and we've built this relationship. But I've learned so much. I learned so much from Andy in his coaching style and the things that he coaches around. It's been very instrumental in helping me, from the relationship point of view with, because I'm married. Next month will be 26 years. Can't hardly believe
Woohoo!
it. I know. It's like, what? A month from now, really.
Yeah.
And
Nice.
yeah, so yeah, it'll be February 10th, and it's actually also my birthday on that day, believe it or not.
Nice.
I'm going to be 21. And so, so how does
21 plus 2 days.
how does that work? I'm 21 and I'm married 26 years. Anyhow, yeah, I don't have a problem with age. I've never had a problem telling people how old I am. I don't know why. Maybe it's just because I'm like a kid inside of this body that's aging. So
Yeah, the body ages, the personality doesn't have to. We're still kids. We're still children.
no. But yeah, so yeah, I learn a lot, and I think it's really important that for me, I feel like the importance of surrounding myself with really good people. That's part of like what we'll be talking about too. Like the important tribe is going to be something that's going to come up along the way sometime in the year,
Yeah.
because community to me is really pretty much everything when it
Yeah.
comes to like emotional well-being, right? Like
Yeah.
community, and I mean community can be with your family, community can be with your friends, or it can be with a group of coaches or peers in whatever industry you're in.
Yeah.
Whatever that looks like, community is so important. And because I believe we're better together when we do it together. And I believe that we have much more enriched lives when we do things where we have connection with other people. And I know it can be super hard for you right now. And so that's why I think one of the reasons why we decided to go live every week. Because I know how hard, we both know how hard it has been for the last couple of years of being a lot of the time on lockdown,
Yeah.
people having to change their whole lifestyle, whether they worked in an industry where they went to the office and they had to work from home, and then they lost their job and had to start all over and work in a different industry, maybe still working from home. Some people don't even really want to go back to in-person jobs because of this whole thing that we're dealing with. This pandemic is something that has really uprooted a lot of people, and there's just a lot of things happening. And so I think with that, I believe is a really good, and I think an important time for us to be really able to share with you and go along the journey. And we would love it if you are watching this channel and you are inviting your friends and you're digging what you're seeing, that you also comment and let us know if there is something along the lines of whatever that we both talk about, that you are hearing something and you want more of. Please, just comment, because we will get your comments, and we will definitely take a look and put it in the pipeline, if it, just to talk about, because your questions are really what has been driving us. Like we seek you for your questions to help you with your questions. And our main objective is really, and I think if you want to understand like just a little bit of coaching 101, what it really is meant to do is to help you to take a closer look, a deeper look inside yourself, to figure out what's going on, so that you actually have those aha moments and pull the questions and the answers out of yourself. And that's usually what happens, because you'll have that moment and you'll be like, oh my gosh, I never thought about this. And then it becomes like this ripple effect, and you start having these moments, and then you start asking yourselves these other questions, and then you start looking for more solutions to your questions, more answers to your questions, because you've started down that road. And that's what coaching can do for you.
Yeah.
And that's why I think what I'm really going to love about this channel is that we're going to start talking about things that might get you into those moments, those aha moments, that get you thinking like, oh yeah, I never thought about it that way. That's good. And then you start digging deeper into it yourself as you go along, and maybe you reach out through the YouTube by posting a comment in the chat, asking for maybe more information. And again, this chat too, you never know. You could ask a question that we could answer that could help someone else as well. So
yes,
that's what this is. It's about serving the community through this channel.
Yeah, and to go back to some of the topics that we will be talking about, like you mentioned, I can't remember which one it was you mentioned. We talked about leadership. There was another one you mentioned. I can't remember what it was. But anyway, at the same time, I was also thinking we're going to talk about things like, why do people always focus on the negative? Why are people always trying to solve the problem and not worrying about not remembering all the good things? Or why, this is something a lot of my clients bring to me. Why does she always talk about the bad stuff and never remembers all the good stuff? And that's something I thought of, that I often said in my marriage. Why do we always focus on that? There's a reason we do that. Our brains are focused, are designed to do that. So that's another conversation we'll bring up. There's a few other conversations we might have. Like, are you where you're supposed to be right now? Are you doing the thing that you want to be doing? Or are you just filling space? Are you just meandering through life?
Mm-hmm.
Our beliefs, our values, our situation, our, all the things that can change our lives. We'll discuss what can change your life and what doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
What can change? We can discuss how to focus on, what to focus on, how to focus on it, where to get the help you're looking for. We'll discuss how to think about things to give you what you want instead of to trap you where you're at. We'll discuss things like limiting beliefs, which is another coaching lingo. Beliefs that you have that you think are the truth of the world, but actually are what's stopping you from getting what you want. We'll talk about stories, the stories we tell ourselves, stories, the cultural definition of stories are things we make up. What we mean in the coaching industry of stories, when we say stories in the coaching world, we mean the things we tell ourselves that we believe are true. An example of a story might be, I don't know, Leslie's happy in her marriage. That's a story I will tell myself because I perceive that Leslie's happy in her marriage. Right? Now, that's a story because I don't know if it's true or not. I haven't asked Leslie right now. There's lots of evidence that she is, but it's still a story I'm telling myself based on what I know, based on the evidence I do already have, based on the assumptions that I've made and the judgments that I've made. That's a story. Now, that's not to say that it's not true, because it pretty much is. I'm fairly confident that it's true. So stories are not things that we make up directly, but they are not necessarily the same story somebody else might carry, right? So that's one of the things that we'll talk about is how to talk about our stories, how to see our stories, and how to know when it's a universal truth and when it's a story. How to know when everybody believes that and when just the people I surround myself do, but other people don't.
Oh, that could be even flipping the perception that you think everybody believes that, but it's just
correct.
It's really just you.
Yeah. Well, and I had that conversation recently with another person that I know is she thinks that everybody thinks the same way she does, or that if they don't, they're simply wrong. And that's one of those limiting beliefs. Because of that belief, she is limiting herself in the kinds of relationships that she can have and the kinds of things that she can do in her life. And that's okay. She's happy with that. There's no reason to change it. It's when a person isn't happy with the life they have that we want to look at some of those limiting beliefs and some of those stories and some of those things that we do that prevent us from getting the life we want. And this is some of the stuff we're going to be looking at in the coming year of this channel. There's just so many ways that we can talk about how coaching helps. And to switch subjects for just a second, as I'm talking and spitting stuff out, Leslie is typing it down on our little notes page here, where she likes me to make decisions, and she'll sometimes often leave the decision for me to make. I love spitting ideas out because she writes them all down. I don't have to track my ideas. I don't have to go back and listen to the video. I don't have to, to try and remember stuff, because that's what Leslie does for me. Mm-hmm. And it's part of the collaboration strengths that we have. Each of us use the things that we're good at, and that's another thing that we'll probably talk about at some point is how collaboration works. Collaboration in marriage, collaboration in business, collaboration in family, collaboration, how two people or many people can come together and build something greater than each of them separately. Mm-hmm. And this there's just so many things that we can talk about. I'm looking forward to the coming year and all of the stuff that we're going to create. There's no limit to what we can do here.
Oh yeah, I know. We already know this is something that is exciting too, is that when we have conversations, things come up and we might have something else to talk about within a conversation that we can talk about later. So we're always going to be creating content while we're talking about content, which is kind of cool. Yeah. Which I really love. And me too. And we've had a lot of great conversations over the past year. The channel is like almost a year old, and it's hard to believe that it's hard to believe that it's been almost a year. Yeah. And but what's really great is Andy is spot on. He said that we've both evolved as we've gone through these conversations. I think what's really good is that we have learned the art of communicating. Not so much I guess it's the art of communicating. Yeah, yeah. But it's also the art of listening in that conversation, and allowing the space for differing opinions, and
Yeah.
not having an expectation that a conversation must go a certain way. I think
Right.
there's a lot of, and again, I could bring it back to myself, being married almost 6 years. I've been in this personal development space now for over 4 years, and I think what's been really great about it is that I've evolved into a better person. And so with that, that's probably why there's a little bit more joy. Now, it doesn't mean that there's not like struggles and things like that going on in
Right.
my life when it comes to my marriage, but I found a way. I've given myself the tools, I've given myself that cushion to help me in that relationship part. And so that has helped me not only in what I've learned to also navigate my personal romantic relationship, but also my professional, with my peers, with other coaches, like with Andy. We're collaborating on this, and we've talked about, and we know we're going to collaborate on a whole lot more.
Yes.
We don't know what that time frame is going to look like, but we know it's going to happen. We just haven't done it yet. And then being able to, like, how I show up in relationships with other people, and how it's really great when you can go through some form of transformation through self-development, and you continue down that path of self-development, finding ways to improve upon. And it's not that you're trying to be perfect, but it's actually just making yourself feel good about yourself. And so for me, it's like filling my cup every day is like listening to motivational videos, is listening to podcasts, is listening, doing my morning meditations and gratitude journaling and mindset work, exercising, having phone calls and connections with people. All of those things make me feel good. They keep me in a very good state of mind.
Yeah.
And so that's because of being in the personal development, arena. And that's what it can do for you. And that's what our conversations are going to be around, that through personal development, whatever that looks like for you, because it's really in the personal development world that what we're both in is helping you through specific areas so that you can personally develop better skill sets, so that you feel better about yourself, so that you start living your life from a better state of mind. So I am excited. I can't believe now an hour is almost up. Like we just get talking.
We just get talking. Yeah. Yeah. And I just want to address one last little thing. I've been specifically watching a lot of YouTube videos, a lot of training videos about how to do YouTube, how to make everything work well. We're breaking a lot of the rules that YouTube has to make a channel successful. YouTube doesn't like long videos. Most people don't like long videos, so YouTube doesn't show long videos to most people. So we don't get out there very often, just naturally, organically on YouTube. YouTube likes, certain content. They like certain titles. They like certain ways of doing things. And we're not doing most of those things. We're doing this for your benefit, not to get known on YouTube. We're doing this to help you out. So please help us out by sharing the content, by subscribing, liking, and especially please leave some comments. Please tell us what you think. Even if all it is you look funny. That's enough. Right? But leave us what we'd like to see. What we'd actually like to see is something you want us to talk about. What do you want us to talk about? Do you want us to talk about, your relationship or your life, or give us an example of something that you'd like us to talk about on our channel? We would love to answer questions, or to visit a scenario, or to go over something with you. We'd really like to help you out. That's what we're here for. We're doing this to help you out. The reason we're breaking the YouTube rules is so that we can actually just organically do what we want to do for you, help you out. It doesn't matter the rules. It doesn't matter whether or not we're going to get what we, the best, views or the most subscribers, or, any of that stuff. That's not what we're here for. We're here, honestly, to help you out. So please let us know if it helps you out, or if there's some other way we can help you out. Subscribe, like, and leave us a comment. That's our call to action. That's all we're going to ask for.
That's it. That's it. So, with that being said, we are excited. We will be back here on Friday, January 28th, again at 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern. So come join us. Put a so once we post the video, click on the bell so that you don't lose to get notified, so that you can be reminded.
Yeah.
Also, share the link. Let people know that we're going to be going live, because this is definitely there. We're going to be definitely talking about a lot of things that there's a lot of people out there that need to hear. So we're looking forward to that. So thanks again for another episode, Andy. Thank you as always. It's a pleasure to speak with you. I'm looking forward to getting into the groove. And we hope that you all enjoyed today's conversation, just for us to kind of give you an idea of moving forward, what it's going to look like, and the possibilities for your life. So we hope you have a great rest of your day if you're on the West Coast. And for those of you in the evening, we hope you have a great rest of your evening. And we will see you guys again in a couple of weeks. But again, remember, we're going to be changing the time to Fridays at 1 Eastern. All right. We'll see you guys
Thank
soon.
you a lot. Thank you very much, everybody. We'll see you later. Bye-bye.
Bye.